Good evening. It's IN6 complex solids is what we're dealing with today. And complex solids are three-dimensional objects that are built from two or more three-dimensional objects, such as rectangular solids and cylinders, and I could even add in triangular as well. Any of those would work for that. What you're going to do is need to break down each figure and use those particular formulas to find each one of those. For example, we are looking at two different shapes, one being a rectangular prism on top and another rectangular prism on bottom. So therefore, you are going to find the volume by taking each one of those, and we are going to use this one first. So looking at that, finding the volume, it is going to be length times width times height for this one. So we're going to go ahead and find those particular lengths. So again, this is 5 going from here to here. And that's my height. This is my length, and this would be my width. So 5 times 5 times 4, which is going to be 25 times 4 is going to give me 100 cubic inches. Then I'm going to look at my shape down below, which is in red, and it is a rectangular prism as well, so I'm going to use length times width times height for that formula. And my length would be 6. My width is this line or this line, which I'm going to have to look around at some of these other figures. And as I see, the line that is congruent, that is consistent to this and parallel, is 5. So that's my width times how tall this is. And this line here is 6. So then we take 30 times 6, which is going to give me 180 cubic inches. Again, we're dealing with volume, so it is cubic. Now what I have to do now is add those two shapes together to get a grand total, which is going to give me 280 cubic inches. Okay? Complex, again, being two or more three-dimensional figures. So how many ever figures you find the volume of is how many you would have to add together at the end. Okay? Now we're going to be looking at two other shapes, one being a rectangular prism and another one being a cylinder. So we'll start first with our rectangular prism, again finding the volume. So that is going to be length times width times height. So my length is 12, my width is 7 5/10, and my height is 3. And you can simply take your calculator and plug those numbers in. So 12 times 7.5 times 3, which is going to equal 270, and it is cubic feet. Okay, so there's my first answer. Now I've got to use my formula for the area of a cylinder. And the formula for that is pi r squared times h, the height. So plug those in, so 3.14 times the radius. Well, now what did they give you here? They gave you the diameter. Therefore, we've got to find the radius, so we're going to divide this by 2, which gives me 2.5 or 2 5/10, times the height, which is 7. So multiply those together. Let's not forget this is squared. So again, if we want to rewrite this so that you are seeing exactly what you are multiplying together, it's 2.5 times 2.5, or 2 5/10, times 7. So 3.14 times 2.5 times 2.5 times 7 is going to equal 137 and 375 thousandths. And again, that is cubic feet. Now I need to, again, add those together. So I'm going to add 270 to my answer. And I get 470. Excuse me, 407, I should say. 407 and 375 thousandths. Now, remember, it does say tenths if necessary, which is going to be this number right here, and that 7 is going to make that number 3 go up 1. So my final answer is 407 and 4/10 cubic feet. That is the actual answer to solving this. Okay. Next one, I want you to go ahead, hit pause, and try to attempt this one. So go right ahead. All right, it says find the total volume once again. So we've got to find what shapes we are involved with. Well, the shapes that we have here are, one, the base of this would be a rectangular prism, and up top is a triangular prism. Okay, and again, that triangular prism, you're going to be using that formula to solve that. So let's look at this real quick. And the formula for that rectangular prism is going to, again, be length times width times the height. So we're going to take that, which is going to be 12 times 7 times 8 for the height, which 12 times 7 times 8 is going to give me 672. And it is meters, cubic meters. So there's my first answer. Now I'm going to take this, which is going to need to be the area of the base. Okay, so we're going to take base times height divided by 2. And then we're going to have to go by the height of that particular shape, which is going to be this distance, which that distance would be the same as this line, which translates down to this line. So it's times the height, and that would be the 12. So base is going to be this line all the way across here, which is 7, times my height, okay, of the triangle itself. That's where you have to be a little more precise on what the formula is telling you. That height is not this height. It is the height of the triangle. So that is 3 divided by 2 times, and you could, I suppose, call this the length of it, or but they do generally call that the height of the triangular prism. So that length there is 12. So now we have 21 divided by 2, which is going to give me 10.5 times my 12, which is going to give me 126 cubic meters. Now what you need to do again is add the two shapes together, and you get a grand total of 798 cubic meters. Okay. Any questions, please let me know, and we'll be discussing this in class on Friday. Have a great night.